Good to see everybody. This is a Saturday edition of the Shut Up Money Show. I'm Justin Chamness. I just hit the live stream button, guys, for those of you that are here in the Zoom room. And we do this every Saturday. We go live. I invite you out there, if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you may be, Periscope or some other platform, if you want to join in here, you can be my guest. www.zoomjustin.com, and you'll be right here with us. Okay. All right. Zoomjustin.com. So realestatewholesalerclub.com is where you can find out more information about us. Zoomjustin.com is how you get right here into the Zoom room with us today. And you might want to do that because we're going to share some good stories today. We're going to talk about some deal acquisitions that we've been doing. I'm really big on that. It's my whole business. My whole business is getting deals under contract. So I talk about it all the time. And some of the members of the club here, they do deal acquisitions too, and they got some great stories. Sorry if you hear my dog barking back there. I don't know what's going on with her, but um, so we got some good things we're going to share with you today. And then if you have some questions, we want to have a little time where we can address some questions and things like that too. So zoomjustin.com, zoomjustin.com. It's good to see everybody here. We have Mark and Nicholas and Steve and Lashonda and Rick. How you guys doing this morning?
Good, man.
Good, good. I
Good
wanted to
morning,
share.
Commander.
Hey, what's going on, Rick from California? Good to
Here's
see.
my here's my just got up hat.
Yeah, I got a hat around here somewhere. I need one too, man. I
Hey,
do.
props out to Mark. Mark's in California, man, and he's always looking great. I mean, props out to everybody. Don't get me wrong. Everybody looks good.
Yeah, what about me, Rick?
Yeah, yeah. But my West Coast people, though, man, they camera up first thing in the morning.
That's because
That's
my
what it
hair's
is.
short. I don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh, hey,
That's what it is. They camera up in the morning.
that's right.
Yeah, it's a
Hey,
Hollywood thing.
nice. Good to see you guys for sure.
Well, it's good to see you
Hey,
too.
I am going to camera off and grab some coffee, but I'll be back.
Okay, get me a cup, dude. Would you?
Nice.
All right. So let's share some good stories today. I'll start out. I'll kick things off a little bit here. Let me see if I can get to it here. That's the wrong thing. Let's see here. Do you see the private group here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the private Facebook group for the VIP members. And where did I put it? There it is. I posted this the other day just to get some knowledge of it myself. To be honest with you, I wanted to know who in the VIP club was contracting deals. I just wanted to take a minute and acknowledge some of these people and let you know how proud of you I am. Okay, so let me click this button here. Of course, you see the post: who's contracted to deal with the homeowner, whether you sold it yet or not. Okay, and I say that because it's important to contract deals. It's important to sell deals, but you have to get deals under contract before you can sell them. So I thought, let me, instead of asking for the whole shooting match right away, let me just ask and see who's getting deals under contract. And we don't talk enough about dispositions in the club. Okay, so we probably ought to up our game on the disposition side here in the club. So there were 13 comments. Let's just go through them here a little bit. View 9 more comments. Kenny Wright, I should have suspected that he would be there at the top of the list. Not surprised. We have Mark Richardson. He's in the room. Alan Bryan, he's normally in the room. We miss him this morning. Rick Gentry, well, we were just talking to Rick. Me, I'll share a little story with you today. Steve, Debbie's always the encourager. Okay. Have you ever noticed that in the club? Debbie's the encourager.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's okay to stereotype people anymore because of the PC culture that we live in, but I'm very, very guilty. I stereotype people all the time. I may have even stereotyped you if we know each other. Uh-oh. But I do it on purpose in good ways, like Debbie the encourager. Okay. You follow me? So that's Debbie. Love Debbie. Thank you, Debbie. Tim says, hey, I'm raising my hand. All right, great. Nick, he's in the room. David, he's normally in the room. So a lot of people are getting deals under contract, at least. Okay. So since we have a couple, first of all, congratulations. Secondly, thank you for sharing your raising your hand. Okay. And I know you had no idea that I was going to do this, and you don't need to feel obligated to share, but I would like if you would share a little bit about some of your deal acquisitions lately. Tell us a story. Anybody got a good story they want to share?
Sure. I can go with one that it was a FISBO that ended up turning into conversation. He owned 10 rentals and he wanted, more than what it was worth, and he needed work. And I just said, well, man, I said, it sounds like you're an investor too. I said, why are you wanting to get rid of this? Like, well, why not keep it as a 10th rental? And he just said, well, I tried to do a fix and flip on it. I screwed up. And I said, screwed up. He's like, yeah, I bought all the stuff, and he tried to do the work himself and he messed up. But anyway, out of that FISBO, I turned it into a JV deal with 3 different profit margins, depending on what, and I got him to tell me what his lowest bottom dollar was, what he could accept, and what he wanted to sell it for, just by asking, getting him to kind of tell me more, just by just posing some questions.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. And what does it feel like to have success, and what does it feel like to contract a deal, to talk to a motivated seller or one that's motivated enough to do the deal with you? What's it like to make that creative offer? What's it feel like? What's it feel like to cross all those bridges for the first time?
What was great for me was, it's like what we've all kind of been talking about. It's like the main theme of the past couple of weeks is like, just get it signed. We know more than what we let on, to ourselves. And it's like, it's creative, come up with a solution, come up with a way to make it work, figure it out, and don't get off the phone unless you're satisfied. I mean, I know we have that 3-minute rule, but if you got them on the hook, it's just, you haven't figured it out yet, not them. You haven't figured it out. And if you can kind of figure it out where you're like, hey, this has got to work right here, and you give them the offer, and then it's like, you know what? Yeah, okay, this works for me. How about we go ahead and do this? Like another one for me, another one that I got was, it was based on an option. What Steve was talking about a couple of Mondays ago. I got him on that. And then once I sent over the agreement, we had an agreement time to call and go over it. He was changing his mind. And I said, what's got you changing your mind? What about this? Is it that you don't like? And he just said, I just don't want to put, you're just going to be random offers. I want to know what I'm getting into. And he says, I just really want to walk away from it, man. I said, well, look, the cash offer I'm going to give you, you're not going to like. So let's just, why even go there? And he just said, well, what is it? And so I told him, he said, we're not too far off. And so like what happened was, I could have done the cash offer, but I may have like my first sandwich lease option deal. So that turned into that.
I love it. You're not going to like, sir, you're not going to like my cash offer. So, I mean, why even go there? Is that what you said?
Yeah. I was like, why even go there? And he's just like, well, what is it? And I said, man, we're friends. Why, do you want me to tell you? And he said, yeah, I'm interested. Like, all right. And I told him, I was like, I can go 58, as much as I can go. And he wanted, I think his sales price was 85. He wanted at least a minimum of 72 cash. And I told him, I said, maybe I can come up to 60, but that's as much as I can do in the cash offer. And I just, so yeah, but then we got it to a sandwich where it was perfect with what he was looking for. He lives 4 hours outside of the area the house was in. He didn't want to deal with it anymore. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that's great. That sounds really good. Those are great kinds of deals like that, man. Where the guy's just ready to, where he says, "Hey, listen, man, I'm just done with this." I love that.
Yeah.
So now we have a real wild, wacky world out there where the economy is a nail biter. The real estate market's a nail biter. We don't know where it's going, what it's going to do, when it's going to do it. Probably the biggest question. And other people would say, so nowadays it's just damn near impossible to find any homeowner out there that would do a deal with you at all. As a creative real estate investor, I've heard dudes say it. It's just damn near impossible. What do you think about that, Nick?
I think they're full of it, man. It's like it's like kind of what Frank Zappa said about music. He said, if I create music and one person on this planet filled with billions and billions of people is gonna like it, that's good enough for me. And that's all I'm looking for, one a month, and they're in there. And a lot of guys also, you got to keep in mind that they're just trying to go for the one strategy. If you've got 7 different strategies and you can give them, different price points, different offers. And sometimes, honestly, man, what I was noticing too is like if you just say it different ways, the same offer you just made, but just phrase it better from what they were kind of give you the objections to, they like that. It works. So yeah, that's not true. Yeah, there's deals out there.
I totally agree.
Oh, I think we should agree with those naysayers. Let them quit the business and get out of our way. Good job, Nick.
Thanks, buddy.
It's a good point. Good point. Congratulations, Nick.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Let me share the list again here real quick because I don't want people to forget. I think you can see this screen. Can you see the post again on Facebook? You guys see it? You see the post? Okay. All right. So Kenny, Mark, Rick, Steve, all 3 of you guys are in the room. Let's see here. Tim, he's not in the room. Anthony, you're in the room. You just spoke up. David's in the room. I saw him. Okay, so we got a lot of you guys. It's funny how the people that are getting deals are also the people that are here today. And where the hell is everyone else that's not getting deals?
They're still sleeping.
That is complaining. It's almost impossible in this market to get any homeowner. Okay, well, they're not fucking here. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get better about not dropping F-bombs. I'm just saying there might be a little correlation between those 2 statistics.
You become known as a deal guy that can put almost anything together, your phone doesn't stop ringing. And it's not from the people. It's not usually from the general public. It's from people that know you can put deals together. That's where you get your business from.
Yeah.
I really don't do a lot in advertising. I said this the other day on, I think it was Friday. I was talking about Arturo. I says, I got one of the wackiest deals I've ever looked at. A realtor brought me. It's a funeral home.
Wow.
And I like doing business leases where I can lease the business, so to speak, and that blue sky, that what I could do with that building, plus the building, right? But I don't want to own the damn thing. So, and I hate talking about deals that I'm trying to put together because it spooks it, But I'll know more about this probably tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen. This thing happened really quick, so. But I might have some news for that in a few days.
Keep us updated. You know how they say professional baseball players are superstitious, like they don't wash their socks or their jockstrap or or whatever because it's lucky, Our rainmakers, our deal getters, are they a little superstitious like that too, Steve?
People just like to talk. Some people just talk for the sake of talking. I try not to be one of those people. So,
Well, we appreciate you around here, man. I have a reputation from the investment banker world of being the guy that you go to with the deals that everyone else goes, oh no, because it's got too much hair on it. Okay.
yeah,
You bring those to me. It may take me a little longer to work through all the easements and all the other bullshit and whatever's involved in this, but we will get it done. Okay. That's a great guy to be. I love it. So, to your point, Steve, I 100% agree. I saw Alan pop in here too. So out of that list of people that's gotten deals, it's pretty much the people here in the room. There's about 11 folks here in the room. What, who wants to share their deal acquisition story recently? Anybody? Any of you? Next. Who
Yeah,
wants to go next?
I'll tell you a little bit about you and I talked about this deal that I had the other day where the guy had jacked up the price and where nobody had made an offer on the place and like almost 2.5 months, and I make an offer, and then within the next 24 hours there's 5 offers on the place. And we actually had and this isn't bullshit, this lady is like, she wasn't playing me, she's just she's a normal person, I can tell if she was playing me or not. So anyway, this guy,
that'll almost make you be a superstitious dude.
yeah,
When stuff like
but
that
I think I
goes
talked
down.
about it on Monday. I talked about the deal on Monday. So anyway, a couple days go by. Guess what? She calls me back and she goes,
Boom.
I don't want to do a deal with this guy.
Did I predict that when we
You did
talked?
say that exact thing.
I think I predicted that, man.
You
I
did.
must
You
have, I
said
must
that
have been
exactly.
on one, or I was using the magic 8 ball that day. Congratulations.
So
What'd she say?
So
she
she
say?
said that this contract that this other guy wrote was so one-sided and she didn't feel good about it. She saw, and part of it was, and I talked about with a couple people, is that I had a really good rapport with her. She knew that when that happened, I didn't say, hey, screw you,
Yeah.
I've been doing too much work. I just said, hey, I wish you the best. I hope I do the same thing. If I could get more money, I'd do the same thing. But she didn't like the guy, and she didn't like the contract because the contract was so one-sided. She was telling me that it said something like, if she doesn't sell, they could go after her heirs, and like all this stuff scared her, so. And our contract's basically straightforward. We're telling her exactly what we're doing and everything, but that is part of the deal, is that I kept a good rapport with her, I think, and she liked me and trusted me.
Yeah.
So now we got it under contract.
Dude, that's awesome. How many days transpired between it looked like it was dead and her calling you back?
She called me back on Tuesday it was dead. She called me back on Wednesday.
amazing.
So I think it was dead on Monday. She called me back on Wednesday. But I see, like I said to her, I go, well, listen, we need to sign this contract tonight because I don't want somebody coming back to you with $150,000 offer, and she just laughed, it was like, so I said, see, we could just laugh about this because it was kind of a joke, we were both like, I've never had that happen to me where, I've had 5 offers after I've made an offer on a property that had sitting there for a while. So wholesale deal should work. We got it signed. So that's the big deal.
Great.
Now we can put it out there.
That sounds like an incredible deal too, by the way. Like, I think you're going to make money with, right?
Yeah.
If I remember it right.
All right. Yeah. It's a nice house. It's actually a really nice house. So
yeah,
it doesn't need hardly anything. I was surprised. I didn't even look at the pictures when I made the offer. I just looked at the pictures.
And what state is that in again?
It's in Mississippi. I know you don't like Mississippi, but it's in Gulfport. So it's it's a pretty pretty good town, pretty hot town too. So
Okay. Cool. Cool. Hey, congratulations, man.
thank you, sir.
That's awesome. Yeah. How exciting. So, what do you say to the guy that says it's just real hard to get deals now? How do I go about getting a deal in such a crazy hot market where there's like the realtors told me that there's no inventory on the MLS. So everything's just locked up right now, man. What
Well, I
do you
had
say?
this guy that a while back who he's an old school real estate investor, and he's been doing deals for years and years, thousands of deals. And they asked him, hey, well, what do you think about the market? It was kind of a similar market. He's like, shit, I don't even know what the market is. I don't know if
Right.
it's good or bad right now. But, I'm just helping people with problems who have real estate,
I love it.
So
I
that's
love it.
and that's a kind of a tough one to kind of constantly think about,
Yeah.
but that's the truth, man. There's so many people out there that have issues and we're just there to solve the issues and figure out. I mean, look at Steve's deal he's just talking about there, I mean,
Yeah.
that they got a problem, and real estate's involved. So, and there's so many problems out there, and we're here to solve them.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Congratulations, man. That's cool. That's exciting.
You can look at deals where there is no real estate involved. You can lease option anything. You can lease option air if they want to sign a contract. I mean really, that's really when I get finished with this deal, hopefully it happens. I'm selling this guy air and the right to occupy a building. That's the way it's going to wind up working out. So,
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep. Yep. That's awesome. There's a lot of things that you can do in this world. Yep. Lease option, a lot of different things. You can sandwich a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. I heard a guy, well, one of my former bosses. I'll set the stage for you. We're sitting at this big long conference table, like the table is probably 12 feet long, nice rosewood top. And we all have these real nice cushy office chairs. We're all sitting around this table. And the big boss is at the very end of the table, at the head of the table. And I got a buddy in the room, and he's about 5 chairs across the table on the other side. And so I was thinking, I'm gonna be funny because I'm a funny guy, and I want to raise too. So I'm gonna ask the boss. I'm gonna say, "Hey, boss, Dave over here wanted to know what's he got to do to get a raise." And he knew it was me, and everybody knew it was me. It wasn't Dave, right? And the guy looked at me, and what he said changed my life. Not right away, but eventually it did. He looked at me and he said, when I said, "What's he got to do to get a raise?" He looked at me and he said, "Give more." That was the end of the conversation. Went on, talked about other things. It sunk in later in life that I need to be better, to give more, right? I have to be better. So my answer to the question of how do you get deals in such a tight market is, one, you up your numbers game a bit. Okay. Give yourself some room to breathe on, get extra leads. Okay. Maybe get a lot of extra leads, make more phone calls, but be smarter and be better. Okay. Jim Rohn said it like this: don't wish things were better, wish you were better. Right? Don't wish things were more easier, wish you were better. Right? That's true. It's true. So that's my best advice. Who else has a good story they want to share? Alan, you want to share a good story about acquisitions lately? You got a deal. You're on the list.
Well, I like I said, I just took you guys' advice and just get ink on paper, and I don't really know what's gonna turn out of it because I'm doing this as practice because the previous sellers I could taste the finish line, then I would get ghosted. So I figured I needed to improve myself to actually get them to ink the paper. So that was my initial goal. Well, this one I realized later it was it's turnkey, but it's very close to retail. So I don't know what's gonna happen, but I optioned it for $1 just to see what happens. So I mean, I'm trying to see if I can dispo it, but the realtors that I contacted laughed when I told them, oh yeah, you got $2,000 baked in there, and anything on top of that is yours. So I learned another thing that I guess there's a minimum they're willing to work for, which I don't know what it is. So that's where I'm at with that. So
Okay. Well, let's answer that question right here in the room. We have any realtors in the room?
Yeah, don't let the realtors pull the wool over your eyes.
Damn right.
They'll work for less than you think because most of them don't make any money.
Are they
Okay.
fat and lazy right now? Is that what it is? Or are they skinny and starving?
Right now, there's no inventory for them to get listed, but there are plenty of buyers. So, we're properties here in Connecticut right now are selling. This is crazy. 50,000 and 100,000 over asking price same day. So yeah, some realtors are getting fat, and others are still starving. It's like you said, the people in the room here and the people that aren't. It's always the same crowd.
Yeah.
Wait, Alan, I'm sorry. What is it that they're asking for exactly from you? The realtors. I missed that one.
no, they ask, oh, what's the buyer's agent's commission?
Right.
So I
Oh,
told
okay.
them, oh, you got 2,000 in there baked in, and anything on top of that is yours. And they're like, LOL, definitely not interested. I was like, okay.
What's your deal look like? What is it?
Oh, is this it's a townhouse that's got a current tenant in it that expires. So I'm trying to market it as a turnkey rental. But like I said, I just got it contracted and I analyzed it later. And when I analyzed it, it was pretty much retail. So like I said, it's just an option. So I think I'm just gonna let the option expire.
What's your option? What's your option for? Is it option to purchase?
Option to purchase, yeah. Option to purchase.
How much is the option to purchase?
158.
And what's the property worth?
Probably like close to that, or probably give or take. Let's just say 164.
Okay, all right. So can you drag the term out? Can you get a year or two out of them on a lease option?
That's a good question because there's a tenant currently living in there. So
There you go.
how do I lease option that out if there's currently a tenant?
Lease it out to a realtor, an investor, to a landlord. As long as there's got to be a spread somewhere with sunshine at the end of the tunnel. How long is this guy going to be in there for? Do you know? Is his lease expired?
November is when the contract expires.
All right. Okay. Well, this is the end of the world. Is there an HOA there?
Most likely, because townhomes.
All right.
I'm
You got to
assuming-
find out if there's an HOA there and what the rules and regs are and how much a month it is. That's a big question. And what if you can even rent the thing out or whatever, so. But man, who says you got to have a realtor to do this deal? To finish
Oh
it
no,
up?
I was just trying to find different channels to dispose of it because my option expires on I think the 9th of April.
Well, you got to get back with these people and see if you can do something with probably stretching it out or market it. Put it on the market. You got an option to buy. Your option to purchase is for how much?
158.
158. So put it up for sale for 169. You got nothing to lose if the market's hot where it is. So what? I mean, you got to be able to get somewhere. Do something with it. Don't let it sit there. Stop thinking about it. Make something happen.
Oh no, I marketed it online, so it's on Craigslist and Marketplace, so it's
Good.
on that.
Getting
So
any play on it?
well, there's just one interest, and they said that there was no interest on their end after I guess they ran their numbers. So
So you
that
go
was
on
that.
after. You got to go after. If you're looking at retail dollars to contract them with, you got to go after the retail public. You got to go after the consumer, the end buyer. So you got to word your
Okay.
ad and set up everything so it's just they salivate when they look at this thing.
Alan, what's the market like? Is it a hot market for housing? Is there low inventory?
Yes.
Oh,
There you go.
yeah.
But I don't see that you can lease it while there's a current tenant under lease.
I agree.
You might be able to sign a lease that begins as soon as the other tenant's lease expires.
I thought it
But-
expired already, and they were just deciding they were going to leave in November. There's a lease currently on it.
Yeah, the lease expires in November.
Oh well, then you can't lease it.
Right,
out.
there's your problem, but your option is an option.
Yep.
And that's assignable.
Yes, that's the game plan, is to sell my interest in it.
Remember, you got a whole dollar invested in this thing, man. I'd be working my ass off right now.
Well, I think you made a bad deal. I will give you 50 cents for your option.
All right, I'll take it. Hey.
I'll give you 75.
But yeah, so that's not. I guess it's not a deal. That's why I wasn't gung ho on it. But I just wanted to do the exercise of getting ink on paper.
You know, I wouldn't rule it out. Put it out there, see what happens. You've got a deal on paper. To me, you've got something to work with.
So if you think about the negativity of there are no deals out there, and then you think about how there's just all these sellers that are getting way above asking price and crazy scenarios, why couldn't the same thing happen for you? If you think about that, get it under contract. Couldn't the same possible scenario play out, that some type of cash buyer or investor, retail type buyer would come by and feel quite okay with that? I mean, it's totally in the realm of possible today.
I'm actually even going to try that in Austin, because like they're paying like 250,000 over asking if it's in the right zip code, because of freaking Tesla and Google moving here. So I'm just going to try to just get anything under options, and then put my number on the Zillow ad and just bring them just different offers, as long as they're opening to creative, or if they get the finance buyer. I'm hoping for a big one. That's kind of on my agenda for this coming week.
Remember, if the people are cooperative, you put them under an option. If the people aren't cooperative and they just, well, this is it, it's all I want, put them under contract to purchase and make it subject to funding or whatever. You know, those are your two avenues.
Right.
I know if I talk too much, you gotta get out your pair of pliers and go up to where the channel selector is on my picture there.
Dude, I like that TV thing, Steve. That's cool.
That's way
I don't know
cool.
how I got this. I was playing around with this green screen thing last night. I'm jealous. I can't figure
It's
this
the,
thing
it's
out.
the filter.
I wound up with this TV. I don't even know how to get rid of it. Remember, I don't know if I'm a lot older than a lot of you guys here.
It's
When we were
filters.
kids, to change the channel, we used to have to use a pair of pliers, go up to the TV and change it. There was no remote control. So if you're tired of hearing me, just flick the channel. That's all.
They can't turn me off, Steve. I'm on the big screen.
Oh, well.
So I got two under contract this week. One of them's a little crazy.
Hold on, man. Alan, congratulations, dude.
Absolutely.
Applause to you. Congratulations, man. Good
Hey,
job.
I appreciate
Keep up the good work.
the motivation.
awesome.
Thank you all.
Hey, Alan, get really good pictures. Look at what else is for sale in the area. Like this is a townhome. Look and see what they're all advertising, and take their ad and blow it out. Use different adjectives. Make it. This is the most unbelievable thing. Get traffic, and set all the traffic there at a certain time. Don't do it. You know where you're going to go back and forth and back and forth. Try and do everything. I'll meet you there between 3 and 4 o'clock, and get the seller's permission. And that's what I do with these.
Alan, what city is your deal?
It's in Washington, PA, so it's not even close to me. This is a virtual thing.
Oops.
Pennsylvania, huh?
Yeah.
Oops.
But I appreciate the advice, but definitely if something is within reach, I'm gonna utilize the what is it, the 30-minute to 1 hour open house, kind of like what Brandon Simmons did?
Yeah.
Why can't
Yeah.
you hire a realtor for a couple hours and let them go out and just show the property? Anthony, you have any experience with people doing stuff like that?
Yeah, you could pay a buyer's agency to bring you a buyer on the property. If they sell it, they get paid.
Bingo.
Give them their 3%.
3%. Okay.
If it's a tough market, give them their full 3%.
Okay.
Try to pay less, but nevertheless, if it's going to motivate somebody who's going to get out there and work for you, and technically you can't really market the property. You don't have a license there. You can only market your agreement. The
Yeah,
realtor
that's what I put.
the realtor could market the property in a way that you can't.
Okay.
Even though they're actually marketing the assignment of your agreement.
Thanks for the advice, but yeah, I'll probably reach out to like the active ones in that area and
if they don't bring anybody, they don't make a commission.
Nick has done this technique.
Yeah, I do it two different ways. I do it if I do that exactly that for the buyer, or I do another one if it's like a double dip strategy with the agent, or if it's a fix and flipper and they represented them, I'll just try to convince them that they want the relist versus me paying them anything.
Okay. All right. So realtors can't eat you. That's the law. That's the law. Okay. Brokers, they can't eat you either. Okay. So don't be afraid of them if you're being a professional. Okay. Right. Off market property contract for assignment. Are any of your clients interested? That's a great way to start the question. It could be a text message even, couldn't it, Nick?
Do it on a text blast, and you just ask them. And one thing that's really cool, and you'll either find out if you have a deal right off the bat, or if you don't. If your numbers are right, if your numbers are wrong, you'll find out really quick. But yeah, I'll just shoot them something like, hey, I've got a property that's under assignment. You wouldn't happen to have a fix and flipper landlord buyer hold looking right now, would you? And if they're like, yeah, I've got one, or where is it? What is it at? And let them source it out. And if they have something great, they'll get back at me.
Yeah, good. The point I want to make also is when you're dealing with realtors, if you're not a realtor, be very honest and be very transparent about who you are right up front. Did you notice when I gave my suggestion for the message to go to start talking with realtors, I said off market property deal. Okay, off market property contract for assignment. Okay, off market. I'm not trying to say, oh, I got this seller over here that wants to sell a property. Oh, we're getting in some dicey waters now. Okay. All right. You follow me? All right. So just some advice for folks listening out there. Congratulations, Alan. David, you had your hand raised.
Alan, just curious, have you considered look into Airbnb over there? If it's busy, maybe that might be a good short-term rental.
I haven't considered, but thank you for the concept.
Yeah.
You could always do a lease option on that, hold it, and then if Airbnb is busy over there, you'll cash flow on that property, and Airbnb actually does all of your cleaning, your property management, basically.
Wow. There you go. Maybe that'll end up being one you just keep, Alan. Is it okay if we just dream with you here for a few minutes like this? I mean, we're just dreaming up different scenarios that could.
I love it.
These are all things that are possibilities. I mean, it's part of being a creative real estate investor. I think the daydreamers in school probably make the best creative real estate investors. I don't know. I sure was a daydreamer.
But they get a lot of detention in the early days.
I've had Saturday school, and
Yeah,
Stuff
but
like
I was
that.
daydreaming about girls, man, not about property.
There you
Oh.
go.
Yeah. Well,
Good suggestion, David.
not when I was in elementary school, but not so much. All right. See, none of the girls like me. No, that's still the thing, Appreciate the advice, David. Good tip too. Lots of things you can do with things nowadays. Lots of escape exit strategies, to monetize and make money. Congratulations on that, Alan. Anthony, you wanted to share some acquisition story. Let's move on to Anthony. What do you got, man? Tell us your story.
I don't know if I want to tell you my story, but I'll do
Oh,
it
okay.
anyway.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought you were going to, and I interrupted you.
That's fine. House in the Midwest. It occupied by a tenant in default on their lease, hasn't paid rent in about a year or more, and wrecked the house. This was an inbound lead that came back to me in November, and it took me a little while to get this one under contract, like until this week. But that's what the cold follow-ups are for. When people are ready, they'll finally say yes. So the seller took the contract to their attorney, who approved it, and they signed. Well, it's an interesting deal. I sent a potential buyer who it was a possible retail buyer. This property has seller financing. It's a pretty good deal. 3% fixed with a 5-year balloon.
The crazy good deal. Get out of here with this.
Now, the tenants are a problem. So that was the first call I made. I offered them the cash for keys deal, debt forgiveness on the year plus of rent that they owe, and that I would not give them a bad reference as far as a new possible landlord goes. So they liked the idea. They had floated 90 days to move out, but they were, very ready to do it in 30 for the cash for keys. So that solved one problem there.
How much cash? Because see, this is fascinating too.
500. But the real thing was the real thing here was the debt forgiveness. I explained how, that they must have fallen under hard times. They weren't just the kind of people that decided not to pay the rent because there was a moratorium. I don't know who they are, but I let them know that they seemed like the type that just fell on hard times, so didn't want anything bad to come to them. But if they were the other type of people, then we would put them out for collection, and they wouldn't be able to buy or rent anything, for the foreseeable future with that on their credit. So they like the fact, they walk away scot-free with a check in hand. They get a reward for being a bad tenant. Well, so I found this possible retail buyer that wanted to buy the house for himself. Loved the idea of the seller finance. 35K down would get him into the house. But when I sent him there, he quickly found that the smell of cat urine permeated the house pretty badly, and marijuana.
Ooh,
marijuana smoke
perfume.
and mold. So I guess there was a water leak. So the sheetrock ceilings and the finished lower level needed to pretty much come down and get redone. There were some cracks in the foundation. So this buyer quickly eliminated himself from the deal. Even at a lower price, he just didn't want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
He wasn't up to it. Well, my friend Nick here in the group uncovered the fact that the seller was trying to list the property behind my back. So I literally called the realtor, and I was on the other line the same time as the seller talking to the realtor. So I had to explain to the realtor that the property is under contract for the next 90 days, and that a memorandum has already been filed with the local county clerk.
Yeah.
So they can't take a listing on the property.
Is that true? Did you really file one, or were you just were you bluffing?
I thought I did, but as it turns out, I forgot.
Oh, classic bluff. Okay.
So will I file one? Probably not. Are you really going to sue a seller for specific performance? Is it worth the trouble on a cat piss laden house with cracks in the foundation? Do I want to go through that much trouble to buy this house? I don't think so.
Well,
But
well,
I told the realtor, I said, look, there's a 3% buyer's agency fee in this for you. I can't give you the listing. Maybe after we rehab it, because I'm really leaning toward just closing on this and rehabbing it myself. And since you're the gal in the area, maybe I'll give you the listing at that point. But for now, bring me a buyer, sell my contract, and there's 3% in it. So she liked that idea.
there you go.
I don't know how many other realtors the seller's talking to behind my back, but
There you go.
what do? Do you file the memorandum or do you just play your cards and see what happens? I'm gonna go the path of least resistance here.
Yeah. I'm kind of like you. I'd probably do the same thing if it were me. But, filing a memorandum doesn't really mean that he's going to be moved to do it with you. It just clouds the title. It means he can't do it without clearing it up with you first.
I'll take a $2,500 check at closing to step out of the way.
Now you're talking.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. There you go. So, congratulations on your acquisitions. Problem solving. Problem solving. That's what it sounds like we all are here in this room is problem solvers.
Second deal we
And-
got was North Carolina. So Jerry warmed up the seller for me. I got it under contract, and Addie and Mark are looking to dispo this. We're working it as the group here.
Yeah.
And of course, you get a couple of disheartening lowball offers in the beginning, but you have to ignore those and just keep moving forward. I think we still have a pretty good deal here. ARV, would justify a decent rehab on the house, depending on how far you want to go with it. Addie, you
Yeah.
want to add to this at all? I think we put her to sleep. There she is.
I'm here. I'm here. Hey. So yeah, we're trying to find a reasonable buyer. The last buyer that contacted me was saying, it's a dump or whatever because he saw the pictures, but I kind of went back to him and told him, this house is the one we're selling is a brick house. It has 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath, and a 2-bedroom, 2-bath frame house on the same street sold for 165. So, if he wants it, fine. If not, we're keeping it moving. But my options are still open. We have people going to drive by today, so hopefully we get someone that makes a reasonable offer. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Congratulations. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have.
working
Go
this
ahead.
as a team here.
Right.
Yeah. That's what's great about the club is we can help one another. We can team up with each other. By the way, on that topic, at realestatewholesalerclub.com now, there's a link right there in the menu that says got a deal JV with us. Okay. And you can JV with Mark and with Victor by submitting your deal right there, and they'll work some disposition side with you, alongside of you. Okay. Doesn't prevent you from doing it yourself too. Could though. All right. It depends on how you want to use it, I guess. But
Mm-hmm.
so that's an opportunity. But then also in the Facebook group and on the VIP Quick Start course, there's a link now to a spreadsheet where it's a membership roster of the club here, and you can add your name to it if you're in the club. It's a JV roster. Okay. So you can put in your marketplace, where you're at, where you want to JV, where you're best with dispositions, where you're best with buyers, and so on and so forth. And then, you can go and reference that and be like, hey, I got a deal. Who do I know in Alabama? Oh, okay. Well, I know 3 people here in the club from Alabama. What about California? Okay, I got 7 people from California I can call. Okay, so that might help you with your JV. I'm just trying to do little things that help around the club here, connect you know, because sometimes we can, you know, wouldn't it be cool if we were making connections here in the club more? You know, Nick got a deal and then Mark found a buyer for it 10 minutes later, you know, wouldn't that be fresh? You know?
That'd be a quick, nice turnaround, man. I
Yeah.
like that.
What if Alan found a deal and David was like, hey, you know, I live in New York, so I got the buyer. He's ready to go. You know, send me the contract. Okay, wouldn't that be fresh? David, you got a story to tell? Or are you busy? I saw you out walking, getting some exercise with your baby. I didn't know if you wanted to share a little bit about your acquisition story, David.
Sure. I got one quick. So a while ago, I had sent out, I tried to direct mail this is like a year ago, probably longer than that. And the seller initially, her and her husband, they own a duplex, and then they own a single family. So in the single family, she said she consider it. On the duplex, it was about it was a 3-1 on top of a 2-1. So she was interested in letting that go. One of the tenants was Section 8, but she was unsure at the time. So I had recently reached out to her, and she's like, you know what, we're actually looking to sell. So I've been coming up with a couple different offers. So I'm thinking of like the cash deal. I mean, I've been trying to calculate the cap rate on it, and I have a couple interested buyers that are like, listen, bring me whatever you have that's like a duplex. So I'm working on that right now.
Okay. Okay. Any advice here? Any advice in the room for David? Anything? Any tips? Nobody?
I got a question actually for Justin. If Rick is around or Steve,
Okay.
what's the cap rate that you guys see that your investors normally look for on buy and holds like that with multifamily?
Depends on the area.
Okay.
Right. Depends on the quality. Like, is it an A kind of class or B class or C class?
It's a B class.
Okay. Okay. Anybody in here want to offer some advice before I offer some advice?
I don't do a multifamily.
I don't really do a lot of multifamily at all either. Okay. So
I asked the broker also, and he said like 5 to 8, and I was like, "You kidding me? With
Good
those
Lord.
numbers, I can get better numbers. Like I came up with like a 10 cap buying it for what I'm thinking it could be bought for."
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Somewhere between 9 and 12, probably.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 to 12.
Yeah.
8 to 12.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. I appreciate the help.
And
Hey,
Rick
David,
is a realtor. Go ahead, Nick.
I might have so I ran into a hedge fund connection that they buy as low as they'll go like 5% on that if it's, you know, based on the conditions and if the renters are hot, they're just buying up as many rentals as possible. I don't know if what's the condition on that?
Okay.
Look inside yet? She actually said like, when would you be able to come take a look? So I wanted to get better numbers before I came and took a look at it.
Gotcha. Yeah, well, if I can put you in contact with them and see if you know, if they buy from you, you know, if that's what they're looking for. But I know they go anywhere between 5 and 10, sometimes 12. That's what they're looking for. But like in Houston and Austin, like in Texas right now, they're going as low as 5%, just because if it's a good rental ready to rock, they're moving on them pretty quick.
Yeah, that's what right now I think that's what she has is at around a 5 cap. Like she hasn't raised the rent in such a long time. It's below market rent. So I know that's where my investors or whoever's going to buy it could really pick it up. And like she has the 3-1 for $2,300, and then she has like the 2-1 for $1,700, and one of those is like the Section 8. So you know you're continuously going to get you know, steady money no matter what with the Section 8.
Right.
So there's the upside right there. Yeah.
David, I think there's also the house hacking group that's looking to live in one unit and rent the other. That's although
That's a good
it's
point.
conventional, you got to go through FHA, but they might be willing to pay a little bit more because their down payment is 3 to 5%.
Okay, that's something else to consider. Thanks, Alan.
Yeah.
What you got outside of these cities right now with a lot of people moving out are families. The in-laws got cash and the kids don't have so much cash and they're willing to buy a two-family house or whatever. I see a lot of that here in New York right now. So that's also, I mean, if it's somewhere where it's not too far outside the city, people are looking to get out of the cities right now, and that could be a possibility also.
Steve, it's Freeport.
Uh-oh. Freeport.
Yeah,
Why not? Freeport's cool.
I consider that like a B class.
You want me to
That's
try?
all right. That's all right. Freeport's cool, depending on whereabouts it is in Freeport. Freeport for the most part still good. That's a great area for walking into multifamily. That's a great spot. I think you do really well. Just stick an ad in the paper. Bango.
Maybe-
Let's get under contract.
Take your shoes off,
You
please.
can make a killing with that house. Because nobody
All right.
knows what anything is worth out here right now. They're paying stupid money for houses. So.
All right,
Good.
thanks, guys.
There you go. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you, David. Congratulations too, man. So who else do we have here in the room? Rick. Rick, would you be willing to
question.
share and care a little? Addie has a quick question before Rick.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so you said you don't have any multifamily investors. Do you have like investors that are looking that buy single family properties like a package deal, like a portfolio? Does anybody have anyone?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. I know investors that will buy numerous houses at one time. And
Okay.
I also
Because this
know
lady sent me, it's a 57 single family house in the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. I don't know where that is.
oh
You know,
wow.
yes.
That sounds like that's right up these fellas avenue there. That's up in y'all's neck of the that's in the backwoods backyard.
Not that far in the backwoods.
Go ahead, Addie. Tell us more. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so she said it's a major vacation spot. I'm just reading the email she sent. 2 houses from Manhattan. And it's a 57 single family home portfolio located in a honeymoon, blah, 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 blah. Let me see what the cap rate is. Owner investors with a 7.5 cap rate, so they're asking $7.4 million for it. Yeah, she usually sends me portfolio, single family package deals and multi-families.
So that's $130,000 a house, a door. How big are these single family houses? Do they tell you how many bedrooms the averages are?
Let me see here. The only thing here is occupancy rate is 100%. I can find out more information from her about
She a realtor or who is she? She was a realtor or
she's an investor too. She's an investor too, but she works with a company that dispose of market properties. So she has other groups that sends deals to her, but she's an investor too.
Occupancy rate's 100%. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, so occupancy rate's 100%. How many of the properties are performing right now? Or how many are not performing, non-paying tenants?
So she just normally when she sends me anything, she'll just send me brief information and stuff like that. And then, if I have an interested buyer or whatever, then she'll send me an NDA for them to sign. She might not have an NDA for this. She just sent it and I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't even look at it. But while we're talking about it now, I said, why not? Let me just mention it. So normally if I say, what, I need more information about this property, then she'll send me more detailed information. She has what's that?
I was gonna say, yeah, you could be, you're in Chicago, but for your reference, that is a hot vacation area. It's the home of the Mount Airy Lodge, the place that's known for the heart-shaped beds and tubs and things like that. So I think you might have some decent houses for Airbnbs or summer rentals. It's a beautiful area, and there's a lot of skiing in the area too. So possibly in the winter, you might want to
Yeah.
cherry pick. You might want to cherry pick one or two of these and keep it for yourself.
Well, I think usually when they send it like that, they want to sell it as a package deal. And then obviously if an investor wants to negotiate on it, then, but once they package it together like that, they want to sell everything at once.
Ask the
Yeah, that's
question, what are the terms? Don't assume that they want all cash. Ask them what terms are available and bite your tongue.
There you
And
go.
they say, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. Then it's probably
Mhm.
far-fetched. But,
Yeah.
no, a lot of people, they want $7.5 million.
Yeah.
You're talking with a major player that's going to come in
Yeah.
the door and scoop that up. Now, one guy could come in the door and chop this deal up and, 10 to this person, 5 to this person, 10 to Alan, 5 to Nicholas, but you want to know if they're willing to hold paper on it, they're willing to hold a mortgage.
Yeah.
And then you take it from there. Then you bring in your investors to fill in the bunch. Addie, you could do this deal. If there's money to be made in it and you get enough information on it, you could do this deal. Don't let the
Yep.
numbers scare you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah.
Good question. I like
Yeah,
the.
she has another 42 units townhouse in Dallas, Texas. She's been sending me a bunch of stuff. I was just like, okay, I don't even know why I just passed it back, but she's
Wow.
always sending me all these deals. Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your progress too, Addie. I'm glad you're a part of the club.
Thank you.
You bring a lot of value here. Who was going? And I put him on. Oh, Rick. Rick, how could I forget about Rick? Rick, what's going on? Are you still there? You're going to tell us your acquisitions tale.
Yeah, change my headset.
Regale us with a tale of acquisitions glory.
No, this was I was doing some calls to Florida, and I just it wasn't really working out into a deal, but I did just ask, hey, do you have any other properties that we could possibly talk about, just before we hang up? And it led to about a half-acre lot in Charlotte. And I was just trying to get right to the point. And I was like, well, what do you want for it? Just kind of throwing it out there. And they gave me a price. And I was like, yeah, let me do some research on that. Because right now I was, kind of looking around the neighborhood in Florida, and let me get back to you. And the price that they put out was really already right at 50% of kind of what was happening for land.
Wow.
Buildable lots close to other homes and everything. So I was kind of like, okay, let's do that, right? And I already had kind of an interested buyer, for that area anyway.
Oh, wow.
So it's gonna work out pretty well. I don't know the exact spread on it yet. We're kind of still working that out, but
That's all right. We ain't trying to count your money.
Yeah, it was just a matter of just asking, hey, you have anything else? Kind of another scenario that I was going to share with some of the group. I was making some other calls to Florida that led to, this person has 4 properties. One of them is in Rochester, PA. It's a little bit of a scenario. It's the tenant is 3 months behind, and they're not talking to the owner. They're not letting, the owner even come in just to take pictures of like its current condition. And he just wants to cash out. He lives out of state. Property's probably worth right around, it looks to be around 105. And he's like, just give me 65 and handle it. So I'm waiting for his attorney. He does have an attorney. I'm waiting for him to contact me back to kind of let me know where this attorney's sitting on it, because I'm not really familiar with Rochester, if anybody else is, as far as how to get a tenant out. The tenant is 3 months behind. They are not in a contract. They're month to month, but they just dropped communications. So he is motivated, could possibly do something with it, but it's kind of one of those scenarios. So yeah, it's kind of a fun stuff.
That's great, dude. Congratulations.
No, thanks, man.
Anybody here in the room from Rochester? Is that what you said, Rochester?
Rochester. Mm-hmm.
Anybody around that area here? Okay. All right. Well, fine. Be like that then. Okay.
If you change your mind, let me know. So.
Yeah. Okay, so
you should speak to Vernon. Vernon's out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out to him.
He
Cool.
was in here. He was in the room here for a little bit, but he probably had to drop out because of work. Okay. But thank you for sharing that, Rick. That was awesome. Really, really good. I like all the activity going on in here. It's a great club. Anybody else that I overlooked or that I forgot? Anybody? Did I get everybody? LaShonda, did I forget?
Yo, I'm here. I got a lot under contract in North Carolina.
Okay. It sounds like a country song, LaShonda.
Yeah.
I got a lot under contract in North Carolina.
I really didn't know what it was worth. So what I did was I went in PropStream and I went and looked at what the lots were selling for in that area. So I'm just trying to dispo it right now. But I did have a question. This lady asked me for a copy of my ID. So how do we handle that with all our personal information on it? She wanted a copy of my ID to, just to know who I was and to make herself feel more comfortable. So how do you handle that?
I'll send it to her. Yeah. I don't have a problem with it.
With your address and all that stuff on there?
Yeah, I mean, where she live? North
In
Carolina?
North Carolina. She's in North Carolina.
She's a long way from home. Yeah. So I wouldn't
give her
worry
your
about it.
passport. It doesn't have your address on it.
Oh, okay, cool. That's a good idea.
Well, you want to make these people feel comfortable.
Right.
I'm not ashamed of, who I am. The only thing on your driver's license would be your driver's license number and your birthday, which, they're not going to be able to do much with that unless they work for the police or something,
Well, it had, the only thing that I was concerned about was my address. Not necessarily with her, but just anybody who's, asking for your ID with your home address on it.
Well, Mr. or Miss
Okay.
Homeowner, if I send you my driver's license, what happens then? Does that mean we have a deal, or are you just going to need more research? I'm just going to ask you flat out.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm not into playing games. I'm not applying for a damn job here. I wouldn't go that far, but that's my mentality.
Right.
If she wants that just for the offer?
Yeah. I mean, I got it locked up. I kind of went around it. I was like, well, I said, well, I mean, I understand your concern and everything. I said, but that goes both ways because that's my personal information on there. It has my address and stuff like that. And she understood it. I mean, I overcame it, but moving forward, I just wanted to know like how to handle that because that was the only thing that I was uncomfortable with. And then I thought, well, maybe if she bring it back up, then I'll just blot out my address and send it to her that way.
Are you buying these properties personally? Are you putting them in an LLC or what?
It's in the LLC. And no, I'm not buying it. It's a lot. I did a contract on it.
Send her a copy of the filing receipt from your state with the LLC.
Okay.
That or even last time I had that situation, I just told them, I was like, well, we're doing everything through a closing attorney, and that closing attorney is going to have both of our information. So, we're pretty much legit here.
Right. And that was something else that I told her. I said, well, when we get to that point, it's going to the title company. So they're going to have all that information. So when I told her that, she kind of backed up on that part.
That's a good answer. That's good.
Yeah.
I think you handled it well. Yeah.
Did she not want to go to the, like, do you have a website that with the about me or something, like with a picture? Usually that I send them there and they're like, they look it up and they're like, oh yeah, okay, so that's you. I'm like, yeah, that's me and my dog.
I do have a website. I do have a picture. She didn't ask, so I didn't bring it up.
Yeah. All good tips, guys and gals. All good tips. I'll give you another one that doesn't fit that parameter, but no, no, I won't. I'll just let you guys keep. That's good. It was good. Good talk. It was a good talk. I was just gonna say, you know, I don't play tug of war too much with homeowners. Okay, when I play tug of war with them, you know what I mean. I pull this way, they pull back, and then I pull this way, and then they pull back, and then one of us ends up falling in the mud hole. Usually me. Okay, I don't play tug of war with them too much. So you demanding a driver's license, a copy of my driver. If I give you a driver's license, does that mean we have a deal? Is that the only thing standing in between me and you having a deal today? Okay. See, I'm not playing tug of war. I'm giving. I'm giving, but I'm making sure that I'm getting in return too. So maybe I am playing tug of war. I don't know. But I will meet the need if I can, just to get the deal. I'll give you an example, and here's my story. You guys heard this story the other day with Zach Ginn on his podcast. I was sharing this story about a deal that me and my team recently did in Arkansas, and the fair market value, it's a pretty house deal, was about 180. Okay, the seller wanted more than asking price. All right. Not only that, but his payment, it was 1250 a month, so that fit. So that was good. Um, but when it comes down to it, he was wanting cash. I asked him if we could do something creative. I said, "Hey, cash is not going to work for me as an investor. Let's take that off the table. Could I do something creative with you? Is that something we should talk about if I made payments to you over the next little while?" And he said, "Maybe." Okay. He wants more than asking price. All right. He wants the 1250 a month. All right. He wants, how much did I put down? Hold on, let me check. $5,000 non-refundable down. Okay. And of course I had to talk through all this stuff to find this out, but $5,000 non-refundable down. Okay. And then he wants us to do a 12-month term. Anybody ever talk to a homeowner that's driving a real hard ass bargain like that? That's a hard bargain. Okay. And even though I was like, okay, I'll agree to that. If I get all of this, if I change the documents to read this and this and this and this, and I send it over to you, what happens next? Do we have a deal? And he said, well, I need a guarantee. And I'm like, shit, man, this guy's asking for everything, right? And then some. I need a guarantee that they'll buy because I don't know these people. I said, listen, we don't work with those kind of people. We work with home buyers. Okay. So they're not renters. They want to buy the home, you know. Yeah, but there's no guarantee they're going to buy my home. I said, okay. So if I gave you the driver's seat position and I let you look these people over the background screens, and if we do a cooperative deal here where you can make the final decision on whether or not these people checked out okay for your home or not, is that something that makes you feel more comfortable, and can we move forward then? Well, no, that sounds great, but that's still not a guarantee. And so I'm literally running out of options here in my mind on the phone. He's like, I need a guarantee. And I'm like, man, I ain't got no damn guarantee for nobody. I don't have a crystal ball. You know what I mean? So it struck me though. I could do a guarantee. Okay. Here's how I said it to the guy. I said, so if I were to put together a guarantee, that's what it takes to get this deal done right now with you today. He said, yeah. I said, how's this for a guarantee? If I draw up a promissory note for $5,000, that's only enforceable if at the end of our term of 12 months, we do not execute the option to buy. Is that the guarantee you're looking for? Maybe I shouldn't have done it. Maybe I should have. It was creative as hell. And the guy said, yeah, that's great. I like that. So if the house doesn't sell, right, then I get $5,000. I was like, exactly. If I do that, do we have a deal? Okay. Do you see what I'm doing, guys? I'm working hard here. to get a deal.
That was nice, dude.
And I'm being
Nice.
creative as hell. Okay, as much as I know to be, and then some. I'm all right. I'm giving them everything it takes to get the deal because that's the kind of economy we live in right now. The markets are so hot. Yeah, you got to go a little farther. You got to go a little deeper. Sometimes you got to be a little more smarter, a little more creative. Okay, so I on the fly. I'm sure I'm not the first guy, but I on the fly invented a guarantee. Okay. Now, I did eventually, if you heard the story on the podcast, I did eventually place a tenant buyer for that deal. I made $15,000 in cash, and I assigned the deal over to the tenant buyer, including the promissory note penalty possibility. Okay, so I'm not holding the bag on any of that. The tenant buyer was more than happy to do it. He was confident he could get it done in the 12 months, put money down, and then was okay with accepting the assignment on all of that. Okay. Believe it or not, that's the buyers today. Okay. Buyers today are hungry.
Dude, I need to call back that lead I had yesterday then and give her that exact pitch because she was ready to rock and roll, man. But it was that is perfect, dude. I definitely want to put that in my little tool belt.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a good one. Justin, so that 5,000 that you were giving them is in addition to whatever down payment or option consideration they were gonna get. Is
yeah,
that is
yeah.
is.
The penalty would be, yeah, just an
Okay.
additional 5,000. Yeah, if the penalty gets enacted. Yeah.
Okay.
If they catch in the guarantee, yeah. And I think that's okay to put the tenant buyer on the line like that, especially if they're willing to, you know. Uh, Whatever, okay, cool with me. So what I did, guys and gals, is I went to the sandwich lease options paperwork at Quick Start VIP, that course. I went to the sandwich lease options agreements. I pulled out a promissory note and I just wrote an extra sentence on it. That's it. Okay. So pretty simple to do. We can talk about it further later if you'd like, but we've been going for quite a while here. Probably ought to wrap up. Anything else that we can share? I really appreciate everybody sharing their stories today, sharing their tales and their scary stories. And this, I don't know how this is going to work out. I put this under contract, but okay, great. Those are all great problems to have. Great problems to have. I'm glad to hear them, and I'm proud of you guys and gals. Really proud of you. This here is there's 13 of us here in the room. Isn't that strange? Isn't that strange? It's not like Jesus and the 12 disciples or nothing like that. I'm just saying it's strange.
A quick question for Lashanda.
Okay, great. Great.
Yeah, the property in North Carolina, I have some people looking for vacant lands over there. So I don't know if you're looking for a buyer. Let me know.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Where is it? What city?
Beach Mountain.
Oh, okay. What's the
Yep.
closest biggest city to it? Is it closer to Charlotte or?
Yeah, I think it's closer to Charlotte.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I do have some buyers looking in that area. So if you want.
Okay. I'll put my information in the chat.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, great connections.
Thank you.
If you're out there watching in the world and you want to be a part of a group like this that really helps one another, works with one another, is having some successes and sharing those successes with each other and encouraging one another, a group that provides agreement packages when you need them and trainings and coaching on a day-to-day basis, then this is the place for you. You found home here today. So check us out at realestatewholesalersclub.com and join up. Okay, I'm going to raise the price here real soon because it's ridiculously cheap. All right. And I'm not going to raise the price for the people in the club. So if you're in the club, you're going to be grandfathered in. Don't worry about it. You're going to stay the same. But I'm going to raise it for new subscribers here soon because we really are offering a lot of value here. And I really want quality characters involved. And what I mean by quality characters is people who are pretty serious about this. You know what I mean? Like they really kind of give a shit a little bit. Isn't that nice? And that's what we have now. And that's what I want to keep it like. Okay. And I really cherish you guys and gals for being a part of this. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I cannot express enough how much you mean to me and my day today. All right. So thank you for being a part of that. Don't forget where we're at if you need help too. We're in the Facebook group. We're in the chat room if you're a one-on-one student of mine. And we're also on YouTube, a few times a week if you're just watching on the outside. So with that being said, any of us here, me, Mark, Victor, any of us, Arturo, Rick, Anthony, Nick, all of us, everybody here, if we can help, we will. Okay. That's just how the club works. And if it wasn't that good, I'd quit. For real. If it wasn't that good, I'd quit. Okay. But it is that good. So anyway, I look forward to meeting new people. We have a few things coming up here. We got a Monday night panel at 8 p.m. Central Time. That's 9 p.m. East Coast Time. Do the math for where you live. It's a panel. It'll be public on Monday night. Bring your questions, bring your deals to look over, bring your problems, your fears, your anxieties, your worries, your successes. Let's dig in a little bit and ask the panel of coaches. I'm trying to wrangle up quite a few coaches or team leaders, whichever you want to call these folks, and let them also be a great sounding board for you. They always are, but it'll be great on Monday night. So that's coming up this Monday night. And then next week, of course, we have a lot of great things happening too. So I'm going to be talking about the legalities of wholesaling and the illegalities of it. Okay. Because it's a double-edged sword here a little bit. You got to know what's happening and keep yourself professional and safe. So we're going to have a session on that. And we're going to have a case study session where I'm going to show you several different deals and how I made the offer and what type of buyer bought it. Okay. That's coming up this next week. And role play with Victor, live calls with Mark, Friday with Arturo Creatives. He's going to have Coach Pat on Friday. If you want to meet Coach Pat, Friday's your day. Okay. I don't know who Coach Pat is either, but we'll find out on Friday.
Interesting character. He's an interesting character. Yeah.
So that's Friday. So a lot of great things happening here. Can you believe all of that is just $49 a month? Okay. And that happens every single week. Anybody else with anything before we sign off?
We got April 12th. We've got Alan Calgill coming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He does more. Now you're going to hear more about raising private money from the small side, going all the way up through syndications to opening up investment funds.
That's right.
I got all my information from him years ago. Just what did everybody think about that private money presentation that we did this past Monday night? You know, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Good.
What do you guys all think? I don't know how many guys were on it, but yeah, I thought it was
baller.
pretty cool. Thought it was pretty cool. Get his book, it's really cheap. Whatever.
Alan Calgill, he's not. Steve's telling these guys too. Hey, don't come in here and make it a pitch fest. Okay, you can't go to the well over and over and over and over. Okay,
well, a lot of these guys are actually figuring that out, and they'll tell you that if you want more information, go to this website, that's cool. But spending 10, 15 minutes on she's going, the last person to go to the back of the room with their credit card, that's just ridiculous. So I'm trying to steer away from that. I've got about 15 different speakers that I'm looking at to come on board for Monday nights, but we're doing this kind of last minute because we didn't really plan this very far ahead. So we're getting that up. So Monday night, we're doing this panel. I haven't got anybody lined up for the first Monday night in Easter. So if anybody's got some ideas, but the games, everything should start rolling, start the 12th and go out. So
That's what Dad used to call flying by the seat of your pants.
That's all right.
Hey, Steve, can I ask you a quick question about that?
Sure.
I heard his program was like, I don't know if you're part of his program. I heard he charges like 4,000 for it. Are
Whose
you part of his
program are we
program or
talking
no?
about first?
The guy that came on, what's his name? Jay Connor? What's his name that came on Monday?
No, there's nothing. I don't think he's got
the
anything
last,
like that to sell. All he's doing is selling a subscription to a program like this, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to
oh,
give somebody $5,000 or whatever it is to find out more about doing, raising capital. There's enough people on it. Oh, look, the guy that'll be on here on the 12th has different programs for different scales of what it is you're trying to do with private money. You know what I suggest is you sit back and you take the information in
Yep.
and you decide. Maybe it's not for you now. Maybe it's down the road a year or
That's
two.
it.
This, and a lot of the information these people pose, this isn't something new. This stuff's been going all the way back to the Roman days. So I mean,
Yeah.
If anybody has a twist and turn, an alternative to it, so it's all good.
Yeah.
And
It's like
just
But I
fried
think
chicken.
you don't
too.
have to buy anything.
Go ahead, Rick.
I was just going to say, I think too that when these guys come on to like our show, we take that opportunity to ask them questions while they're right there live. So if they do have different programs and stuff, maybe they'll answer some of those questions, kind of as we come, if that's an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ask everyone. I ask them. We can do two different ways when we bring a speaker on. We can either interrogate and ask this guy all kinds of questions, or they make a presentation. I'd rather they stick with what they do. If they're coming on board, I'm looking at them as being pretty much an expert on what it is they have to offer in that particular market. So I'd rather they make their presentation and try and keep it to about 45 minutes. And then then we have the opportunity to ask questions. So that's how they're laid out.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. I think we're able to get a little inside track with some of these guys, especially when Steve tells them, "Hey, don't make it a pitch fest. Just come give us some really good training, and then send us your link or something." It's like what Steve said it so succinctly, perfectly. It's like fried chicken. That's how I say it. You eat fried chicken, but you don't eat it all. Okay, you eat the meat, and then you throw the bone down for the dog or whatever. Okay,
We did our first month. Sorry to interrupt you. Our first one that we did was with John Ionati, and he's got a program. I think it's a couple of $1,000s. A few people there have bought the program. Not everybody did, and it doesn't matter. It's just these people are bringing. If they're agreeing to come on board and talk for half an hour, whatever it is, it's information that we don't have now.
Yeah.
Or reaffirm or bring you a different idea. If you can listen to somebody like that for an hour or have 45 minutes, and you pick up one thing that'll help your business, you'd be nuts not to. And that's why I'd love to see this club keep growing, because the more people that come on it, the more aspects, the more information, the more turns and twists we've got in our toolbox to do more business. So,
yeah. I do it. I bring guests on a lot, me and Michael Batista, because I want you folks to get good exposure and have a well-balanced diet, really is what it is. And I fully expect you to come to your own conclusions. Okay. You might see me up here going, "Oh my God, that was the coolest thing I ever heard. I'm going to buy the book. I'm going to sign up for the course. I'm going to get everything." That doesn't mean that you should have the same conclusion. Okay. Different strokes, different folks, different timing, different methodologies, different brains, personalities. Okay. Come to your own conclusions on things, but don't be ashamed to get in here and rub shoulders with some of these giants. Okay. Because you'll learn a little bit and you'll get more confident. It'll change who you are when you associate with some of these big people. Okay, that's what I'm trying to do with us. All right, so eat the meat, spit out the bones. Okay, that's how it works.
we're also looking for people that do what they say they're doing right now.
Yeah.
There's lots of gurus out there that just sell programs. I'm not into that. So whatever. If they're proven people, I've got a short list. I went over this with Justin the other morning, and there's only maybe 10 or 15 people tops on this list. So that's only 10 or 15 weeks. So I said, well, maybe we'll invite him back, in 3 months or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's a good basis, and since these are all being recorded, you can go back and look at them. So
Yeah.
it's great.
Nick, did you have something to share real quick before we call it a day?
Yeah, real quick. I just wanted to, Steve. I wanted to see, man. You do this lease to business stuff on the businesses. Man, I would love for you to actually do a Monday night thing where you talk about doing that, like kind of how that deal structure would work, how that would work for a lease in the business. Because especially with all these buildings, office buildings being vacant now, that'd be. I know that we had talked about that in a Zoom meeting about like the healthcare stuff would be cool to get them into. And I think that'd be a nice little different thing besides just the real estate houses that we could do with the businesses. And
I don't repurpose properties. I don't do that. I'll look for a business just for a 1 minute thing. I'll look for a business that's maybe the guy wants to retire, and maybe they need too much money to outright sell it and make it happen through a business broker or whatever. You come along and you're able to lease option the people, the property and the business, or maybe just the business. You're selling smoke like blue sky, but you're giving, what you're selling is to your end buyer, so to speak, is the opportunity to make money. It's opportunity. So how do you put a price on opportunity? We're sitting here talking about taking training and paying $2,000 to learn things. And I'm telling you, well, listen, I'll show you an opportunity where you can make $250,000 a year, put $100,000 up front, and you got it locked up for the next 10 years, and this is what it costs. You can do that with any business. You have to be careful if there's inventories involved. You want to look for a place where the opportunity is maybe it might have been a licensed facility at one time, or whatever. I try to stay away from stuff that have lots of inventory. It's a place it's a unique business, like this funeral home I'm looking at right now. This is off the wall. But if I can put this together, it's going to happen next week if it's going to happen at all. If I can put this together, and I feel pretty confident I will, that might be worth a 10-minute conversation on a Monday night. But there's nothing really outrageous it takes to do one of these deals. You just got to think a little bit more. That's all. You got to think a little bit more outside the box. If you can solve their problem, look at how many people would love to sell their business right now. And the person coming along can't put all the money together. So you find out what their net profit is per month. Keep it simple. Net profit is per month. Say, well, I'll tell you what, you net $5,000 a month. If I was able to turn around and get you $5,000 a month without you having to work, would you be happy? Yeah. That's where the conversation starts.
Thanks, Steve.
A lot of times it's less than the $5,000 because now they don't have to put any work into it. They just want to get out of this thing because they're chained to it, So everybody should think about that. Don't just, an option is an option. I mean, you can bring the property into it. You can just do the business name. You can just do whatever. Think about it. I have fun. I have fun doing those. I like challenges. I have fun doing it. I don't know a whole lot of people that really get that involved with it. Okay, yeah. I'm done. Change the channel.
I love this club. Lots of awesome minds here in this group. I love to leech off of all of them like a zombie. Brains. Anybody else? Any last thing before we go? Love you guys. Thank you for being here today. Okay. You know where we're at if you need us. You know how to find us. We're here for you. Okay. Don't feel like, it's a dumb question, or I don't want to waste their time. Okay. It's okay. That's what we're here for. All right. That's what we're here for. Love you guys. Stay healthy, stay happy, and we'll see you again next week. Okay. Thank you for sharing, everybody.
Justin.
You made today really good.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. We'll see you. Thanks, Rick.
See you Monday.
See you guys.
See you.